balloon is 50 feet wide.
Yeah, roughly. It's 100,000 cubic feet, so it'll be about... It'll be a diameter of about 58 feet.
Okay.
Maybe 60.
We are falling.
Yep.
Tequila Sunrise to Chase, copy loud and clear. Just gonna try and equal his altitude because he looked like he had that south.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you want to just drop down and see if we pick up the south?
Yeah.
What's the deep smoke here? Well, let's see.
You know, obviously that's, like you said, the inversion layer there.
Right, it's just, but it is drifting generally south. So let's see what we get. I like that. Because even if we feel like we don't
change the copy.
Go ahead.
Just making sure we got two-way. Thank you.
I mean, this direction gets us almost out the trade zone.
Right.
We think if we jump up, we'll get sort of gradually more and more turn that direction. So the only risk with that strategy to be aware of is if we're pushing to the east and then we turn, you could end up sort of in the no man's land out there.
Right.
And then landing options, as you know, are fairly limited. Right. I mean, there are options. You just have to start paying closer attention. But I like this. I mean, this gets us out of the trade zone. Okay, no temperature again.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think we have to worry about over-temping today, but
Probably not.
disappointing nonetheless.
Yeah. Learning to fly by temp is out the window.
Yeah.
So, I will say that in preparing last night, and having really done zero ballooning in the last 33 days, I felt rusty.
Yeah.
I feel a lot more comfortable now than in the balloon, but I know that last night as I was prepping, I was like, okay, all right, so this is what it's like to not balloon for a month.
Can you imagine those folks that fly once a year?
I don't know how they keep, anything that we do requires somewhat regular, and I don't care how good you are at riding a bicycle, for example. If you're going to do anything tricky besides just roll down a flat street, you know, like if you're going to go mountain biking or something, you've got to stay on in practice for that, you know.
It does come back.
Yes.
But yeah,
yes.
you start rusty.
Right.
For sure.
Oh, it's right there at the end.
Oh, I
Yep.
see it. Yeah.
See it blinking, yeah. Probably waiting for us.
Okay.
More of the south.
Yeah, I'm liking this turn. So I didn't see the use of the checklist today. Were you using that, or were we doing too many random things?
There was a lot of random things going on.
Okay.
I did get these things that I put on there,
Yep.
but no, I did not go through after we started setting it up. I stopped looking at it, and that's a problem.
But that is a great illustration of how, let's say at an event or with new crew, things get sort of distracted in a real hurry.
Yes. I do not like not having turning that. Man, that is just a clear layer there.
Yeah, that is about the picture of an inversion, isn't it?
Right.
You never know. Might need that in the class someday.
Right.
Okay, we got a lot of extra red line, which is good. And the other vent line is plenty long. I'm actually happy with this length.
I like that length, yep.
It's just sort of, it's convenient to
Yeah,
grab. It doesn't get
yeah.
too far out. It's got enough slack. So I think we'll commit to that green line when
Yeah.
we're done. We could even use, depending on how much is in there, we could even use that green line to splice up into the turning. We'd want to do it at the other end so we didn't have two green works
Right.
down here. Feels like a little bit of a layer, doesn't it? It's nice.
I love those things.
Well, I'm glad we got out.
Me too. Me too. Yeah. I was watching that. You know, this is the problem also with watching too early, you know. But the clouds just, according to all the readings, were getting lower and lower.
Right.
And I was looking at the skew T, and you know, right at about 800,000 feet, the lines were touching.
Yep.
And I was like, well, and I went out a couple hours and we were starting to separate about 8.
It's 8:30 now. When we stood up, so.
And I did start my, yeah.
Telling Travis I saw an Aerostar 105 for sale the other day from Albuquerque. The yellow Ackerman balloon.
Aerostar, huh?
Okay, you're pretty good really.
Oops, sorry. Elbow in the face. Oh, that's gonna bleed a little turning vent, but nope. Hey, you stopped. Can't be good.
Amazon looks like they're just going to take over that whole section.
I guess, is that, do we know for sure that the rest of that's Amazon?
No, we don't, but I'm just sort of assuming.
Right. You know, the other day when you were talking to that Lynn, the foreman or whatever, and you were saying that he could tell that that wasn't his property anymore. So, you know, I'm wondering if it is Amazon, it's obviously a completely separate project because that foreman would have been, like, you know, as quick as they started doing this,
Right.
you would have thought
It's related, right?
that if they're related, that you would think that the same foreman would be, but you never know. And at least you would have been like, no, all of this is mine. You can't land anywhere here, you know. This is my little side vent, right?
Yeah.
Frank Tower, Skyhawk 4, 7 Echo Romeo is at Alpha 7, holding short of 35 left right to the gun.
Guy.
47 7 Echo Romeo, hold 35.
Otherwise, holding it.
See anything
I would
coming?
hope not on our account.
All right, we're totally clear of him. Just make sure there wasn't anything inbound.
Yeah, I was looking too. I didn't
Yeah.
see anything out there. I haven't heard anything on the radio.
No.
So we definitely got a right turn down here.
Mhm.
Much more selfish.
Yes, I like it. That's loud. There's one way over there. That's the one. What is that? 1-3. I think it's one.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, 1-3. Which is into the wind, but
Oh, perfect crosswind, because wasn't he saying there was... No, he was saying it was 320, even though it's clearly
Right.
not. Well,
surface.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's pretty
fine.
close.
7 Echo Romeo. Right turn heading 0 via the Spring 6 departure. Contact departure.
now they're creeping up.
Maybe he was waiting for that other airplane. It's my favorite direction.
I like this too. Okay, so you had your first fuel leak in flight. That was fun.
Yeah, I got step one done, which is turn it off, bleed it out, and then try and diagnose, and then obviously it's on the manifold side because when you plug the hose in.
Mission Juliet, no clear.
And that's the most likely because it's usually this rubber that freezes so bad. Like with it sitting in the sun like this, I bet at the end of the flight, I bet if we test it, it'll be great. It's interesting because we were right around 10 degrees, right, this morning. It's my rule of thumb that sort of stuff starts getting brittle at 10.
Starting to feel the up and down without having to see. I mean, I felt this hit the apex.
Right.
It's subtle.
It is. So when you're out here and you feel comfortable, why don't you give the vent a couple of tries just so that you get a feel for how this rope feels in your hand and what the tensions are and that kind of thing.
7 Echo Romeo, 060.
Yeah, I gave it a little bit up too tight. I felt that a minute ago, but that's a significant difference.
Is it?
Well, I mean, from where I thought was tight to actually pulling on anything. Yeah, I'm gonna have to add setting the top to my fucking list. helps that we don't have very good Velcro, but it needs to be on the before launching.
You're venting now.
Yeah.
How's the rope feel? It feels like it's sliding okay?
Yes, it's you know, smaller rope, so you got to have a better hand on it.
Right. Yeah, in terms of engineering, I'm not a fan of the two
Rings.
elastic bridle concept. I just think that's weird to me. I mean, it works fine, but I think what happens is you're using a lot of red line just to get those
Just
tight
to get them tight.
before
Yeah.
you're really getting a pull on the cap. Like I say, it's sort of fine, but
It's different. I got to put because it's thinner. You know, I've got to have a better grip on it. It wants to slide easier.
yep.
I feel like maybe those I don't know if it's the weight of it all, but that other rope, you know, certainly had some weight to it,
It did, yeah.
and that aided. I feel, you know, you
And
had
like
a
I said,
good
it's just
hand
easier to
hold,
grip to,
right?
yeah.
But
Well, we can always go back.
I don't think so. I think it's just a matter of getting used to it. Getting this length straightened out.
Yeah.
I felt it again. Apex.
They've got that all cleared.
Yeah, and they've got light poles down to the road, but they haven't opened that road up yet. Like to where.
Oh, yep. Yeah. Obviously, the traffic light is installed on the other three sides.
Right.
I don't know if it's
Yeah,
installed on this
I
one.
doubt it. But they're, you know, obviously going to make it ultimately.
Oh, yeah. And they didn't pave that far yet, so
Right.
probably deliberately stopped the pavement to discourage people from thinking that's a road.
Right. Oh, that already frozen. I just opened pressure. That's kind of funny. When I opened it, it froze.
Oh, funny. Did we just stop?
I feel like it. Look at all those.
We're almost there.
I've left at Alpha 6 for takeoff, wind 340 at
4-0 at 9er. Not this height.
That does tell us if we drop down, we might experience it.
Shear. I'm gonna let us drop just a little bit. We'll get some of that 240. Got a lot of dirt in there. I don't know how we got all that dirt in there.
I think it's just when it freezes like that, it just gets silty and it picks up. Still have a lot up there?
Yes. Particularly on your side.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I feel like we're getting the right turn. What do you think?
Yeah. And I feel it on the back of my neck.
So how's your book study going?
Alpha 7 for takeoff.
Not as well as it should, Dave.
What's slowing you down?
The holiday this time.
Okay.
I
Can we have a mistake?
I was just talking with Travis that I've got to get on it because we're getting close to solo flight time and gotta have that done. So I need to set a goal for myself.
Does that cause you stress?
Does that cause me stress? The stress from, I mean, I'm stressed by not having it done.
Okay.
Yes. I feel like I'm falling behind on things. Having flown in 33 days, still don't have my thing done, my ground technology exam passed. Getting up on, this is flight number 6. I joked that I was going to get grounded. I don't get that done.
November 40 Charlie Alpha. For now, maintain VFR out of the low 9,000.
What's that? Closer to 9?
This is the one that was in here before.
Yeah.
I think that might be the backup one. What do you think?
Put it up on the burner for a minute.
So if this were a hare and hound, what would it take to get to land next to Corey?
Well, that's what I was just thinking about, so I wish I had a little more west. I feel like there's some west up higher.
Which version of west?
I'm sorry.
West wind or west heading?
Fair enough. We'll go with west wind and act like I knew what I was
That's
talking
right.
about. I want to get to the east. Our steam stacks are blowing now more easterly. So I'm going to hop up a little bit and see if I can't get some of that.
I think it's time. What do you think?
Yeah.
And imagine how much nicer that will be when they can all just jump out right to that load.
Yep.
November 8 Delta Whiskey, contact.
Okay, now, ooh, look at the shape. Shape of the envelope.
Yeah.
That tells me that there's a shear right down there.
Right over by those power lines, huh?
Yeah, I think he's this side of the power lines, if I'm guessing.
That's the wrong side to be that low.
Well, except that the ground wind's going that way. So if he drops down,
right.
he'll move away from there,
Right,
not towards him.
right.
But I can't quite tell where he is.
He's definitely this side because the balloon is now in front of the pole. Definitely, we're now changing directions.
I feel like we're going north.
Slowed down and went north a little bit.
Yeah, we're definitely going north now. Interesting.
We'll tack over.
So he's landing, and he's sort of landing aggressively.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he?
Like maybe it's breezy out there.
Right? Well, they said 360 at 6.
Southwest 5211, home short of 3 already.
not really landing zone here. So. But we had a definite south
Yeah.
to go down, back down.
Yeah, I agree.
But if we can get any more east, that would be nice.
I feel like we're going almost due north. Maybe a little bit to the east, but not much.
You did get up a
Just
solid,
11 runway 35 right, line up in
solid
late
10,
traffic
15
crossing
minutes in
mid
front of us.
medevac helicopter.
No, probably not heading our direction, but you know. See, I'm assuming it's from the air show, parking lot lines.
Oh, yeah.
Because I see 3 Amazon trucks pulled over to the side.
Yeah, I noticed that. One was glinting in my eye a moment ago.
I wonder if they sort of get off the property because that's, I got loaded up and get kicked out. And then they're coming over here trying to figure out
Where to go, right?
I wonder, seems reasonable that when you load up a batch of packages that the driver's probably given a route profile with it. Surely there's some software that says,
Yes.
you've got 53 packages on board and here's your best route.
Right.
Okay. Looks like Corey laid down. I don't see him anymore.
I feel like.
He didn't take off on this.
No, he didn't.
You'd think a 60 by 16 swath of fabric would be easy to see even on the ground, right?
I see the. I'm pretty sure I see him. He's between the last 2 poles, closer to the last pole.
Yeah. See that sort of square? I just wasn't sure that was him.
So my goal here is that if I can get just a hair more to the east, I'm going to go ahead and drop down and shoot for the reservoir there.
Okay.
I feel like that we're almost at the height where we can get a bit of a push. I don't think we're going to get much east on this land. I think we're going to get more west on it.
Potentially, and I'm actually feeling like as we've been climbing, we're actually getting more left.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's just because we rotate a little bit, but originally I felt like we were going towards the tower. Now I feel like we're going towards the museum.
Right.
We're right about the layer of that inversion, so something will
Right.
change. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting east.
Doesn't feel like it. Yep. Now, if we are headed towards the reservoir, do you remember where we landed last time? That first landing on the left, east-west road? That would be all right.
Right.
If we go to the right of the pavement, that open area is pretty tough to get into, I think.
Okay. off fast. Is yours ice up too?
Just where it was.
Oh yeah.
It is cold.
Yeah.
We take sunny cold for granted, you know. Like my upper body feels fine, but my legs are starting to get cold just because we're standing in the shadow. You know?
Yeah, I do have long johns on and
Yeah,
my
you
winter
do.
boots on. But
It's chilly. And if you're moving, that'd be plenty.
breeze in my face. This way.
It might just be the transition, but it might be the push to the east that you're talking about. Climbing back up now. And it feels like we might be slipping back into it. It's vague, but just want to make sure we don't end up on the
Right. Yeah.
There's a real turn eventually.
Alright.
I think I'd be fine to drop down.
But
I mean, not
slowly,
quickly
yeah.
necessarily, but that way we can sort of ride this out.
Yeah.
It does look like
Not
right
as
on the
much.
deck it might be a little bit faster.
Right. I definitely feel the shift.
How's that feel?
Oh, this one feels good actually. Yeah.
Looks like it's sliding real easy.
It does.
takeoff.
Okay.
Let's see here. Make sure everything's working on here.
Still rising. Perfect.
So I feel like they did come over a little.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe a couple of poles worth or something, you know.
Maybe.
And see, now I feel like we're heading
Gonna be
south
like
of
we're
the
gonna
school.
be in the Leatherman Gate area.
Yeah.
Houses. Kilo Sunrise to Chase.
Let's let it ease down a little bit and see what we get on the deck. Left, right, speed, that kind of thing. That'll help you sort of to make the plan for the landing.
1300 megahertz.
And can you see the paved road as it goes south out of the houses?
No, but I know it wraps on. Oh wait. Oh yes, I see it. It's like in the middle of that, not on the end.
Right.
Okay. telling.
It's good. So yeah, I get with Jessica too. I don't even bother using it. Half the time I forget to turn it on because I know that. What I find she appreciates is knowing sort of when I'm looking for a landing.
Right, sure.
You know, typically, you know, I fly for an hour
Right.
and 15 minutes, and so she
Right.
knows, but still.
Right.
Remember when this neighborhood was over here?
Yeah.
That's not very long ago.
No, they look pretty new.
I haven't lived here that long. Like when I go to Albuquerque, it's way different than I remember growing up. But that
Sure.
was 35 years ago, so you know it's a little bit of a different deal. So I see this pole we're headed to. Do you think there's power lines on that?
It's that new 5G, I think it's 5G tower.
Okay.
There's not lines. It's just got an antenna on the top of it.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's 5G. I saw a Verizon van at one point. And it looks like an omnidirectional Wi-Fi antenna, so I'm assuming it's a 5G.
Something to be aware of is that when we land, you know, especially because we're moving a little bit, we're going to do a little bit of the bumps,
Yeah.
and all that dirt's going to come down on us again.
Right.
Which is not a big deal unless you're looking up to make that next burn, and then you get a mouthful of dirt. Time for some new gloves.
I'm sure we have some.
Yeah, that one disintegrated a while ago. I didn't actually think I was going to keep them this long, but I like them a lot.
Right.
I found these
Oh yeah.
out ballooning, and we were out here somewhere. I don't remember. We landed, and they were just laying there in the dirt. And I advertised to the other balloonists at the time, "Hey, I found these. Anybody want? You know, and no one claimed them." So over 100 years ago.
In the face.
Yeah, like as you descend, you might get a left hook. I wonder if that's just sort of this ground funneling it into the lake. That's definitely a left turn because we were headed over sort of this gray house.
Yes.
Now we're over here.
No, they've actually been putting those poles up every. So there's one there. There's one there. Another one there. Which also makes me think 5G because the density requirements for 5G are much tighter.
The requirements of the towers, you mean?
Yes, yes. It has to be a much more dense deployment.
looks like it.
I'll take this.
Yeah, so in that sense, it seems like the infrastructure for 5G is a lot more difficult to build.
Yes, yes, and it's going to take a long time to get really rolled out. Yeah. And he can get to all this stuff, right?
Yep. Yeah, you can see this, I'll call it the white road that goes south.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
east-west road.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't know how long exactly we've been here.
What time is it now?
It is 35 after.
Okay, so we went hot right about 8:30.
Okay.
And he can access either side of this fence, but we should make it obvious for him, you know what I mean?
Right. Oh, I see what you're saying.
I'd be inclined to go past the fence,
Right.
because then the Leatherman gate just brings them straight in. And the
Right.
problem is that east-west road is really hard to see,
Right.
because it's actually on the backside of a
Yes.
little hill,
Yes.
as we found in our last landing, right? But that said, a good approach in this, you see where the ridge of the hill is?
Yeah.
The road's on the other side.
Right.
But if you're not sure where the road is, then plan to land on the top of the ridge.
Right.
Because even if you land and take some momentum out and then say, oh, there it is, I'll just hop it over.
Right.
That's fine. And that's easier to do than to go past it and wish you'd seen it.
Right.
Victor,
Tequila Sunrise to a chase.
clear south again. Go ahead.
Things keep holding the way they're holding. It's looking like we're going to be inside the Leatherman gate down the hill.
Which gate? Is that the Blade gate?
Yeah.
Copy that. That's correct. There's a. Do you have a Leatherman on you? I was gonna say, if you didn't, I have a wrench in the box in the truck for sure. Can I then get the scoop up in or downwind? I was not looking forward to landing backwards, but
It doesn't really affect landing, but it does make it's significantly tougher to keep it standing up.
right.
So this is the time when passengers start to get a little bit nervous.
Sure.
So this is the time I like to say, okay, here's my thinking. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to get real low. We're going to drift down this valley. Rather than what they might be, oh, are we going to land here?
Right.
You know, should I be
Sure.
worried? That kind
That
of
makes sense.
And even if he can't get the gate by himself, it doesn't hurt us to walk up there.
Right.
Hey, do you have a crescent wrench in your truck anywhere?
There's a crescent wrench in the paper box in the trailer.
Hey, in the trailer?
In the trailer, in that paper box.
Copy that.
Yeah, and like I say, we have to walk out there. I mean, it's half a mile.
Sure. I know it's in there. Put it in there.
And now you can start to see the road on the other side of the hill. just
Yeah.
the side of the tree. We're getting a little bit of a turn
I
here.
am. Yeah.
You might not get to the road.
No. Going that way now. This hill. 'Cause we know that's south side. Valley right here.
Yeah, up 100 feet, we might get it, right?
Is that the road right there to this ridge? Or that's this,
I think
Little
that's
trail.
this little
Yeah.
bike trail here.
which we saw them cutting.
Oh, did you?
I think, weren't you with me?
Oh, that's right. They had what looked like a little lawnmower looking
Uh-huh.
thing,
They
yeah.
were cutting those trails. I don't know if this one, but definitely trails out here. Oh, the road's way over there, huh?
Yeah, it's down by the trees. But I'm guessing that if we were to get over this hill, if we were to land in that sort of the bottom of that wash there,
Yeah.
I bet Travis could just drive right up. you know, we could walk you down that direction depending on.
Right. I see him coming. I saw a little white lip.
I saw it coming. That little new experimental balloon with the fan on the back.
I saw it in person at Fiesta. It's weird.
I wonder if
I mean, the video it did, but
then in this kind of a situation where it's fairly calm,
right.
you know, we can just crank it.
Yeah.
It probably isn't enough to sort of defeat the wind, but it might give us just that little bit of a bump, right?
Now, are there any fences between him and us? No, I don't think so.
That's up
I
here.
see it. Right. And I see a little bit of a T-trap right there. Not heading that fast, that far.
I see a T-trap coming from the road all the way up.
Yeah. I'm kind of shooting for that, but
Okay.
I mean, I'll take the first spot I get, to be honest with you. In terms of, I don't want to get pushed, I feel like we're getting pushed that way too, so I don't want to get too close to the road there. Come at me. We're going to be about perfect.
Nice job.
Thank you, sir.
So you say it's tough to pull?
It is hard to pull. Yeah, that took all my strength to get that. To get that big guy.
Yeah, but the difference is that I think the parachute top doesn't come out any further than that. So I think you might have to be sort of at the limit of the physics of it.
Uh-huh.
You trade places. Hello, sir.
That's a nice U-turn you made back there.
We've made several of them. Okay, I'm gonna practice with this parachute a minute. You're fine to come up. I just wanted to make sure you knew what I was doing. You can see it's open now. And then if you look at the physics of that, that's about the maximum on those centering lines. Yeah, that's something that we noticed early on, is that the parachute comes down only about that far. So I think that when you say you had all your strength, I think you were sort of at the limit and you're starting to pull the top of the balloon down. Because you can see where can you see from here where the centering line's attached to the side of the balloon? The big square patches.
Hang in there.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so now notice that I've got the parachute open now. Right. You can see the sunlight. Right. And now you can see how tight they're pulling on the sides of the balloon. Happy with the green length. We're going to adjust the red one to get that kink out. No, I'm just going to adjust. I'm just going to tie a knot in this. So that you know where it was. Okay, so I feel like tying it off about that long would work. What do you think?
Okay.
And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tie this knot in the imaginary spot where we would tie it off, but then we have to lengthen it by that amount.
Right.
Make sense? That way we don't forget. I'm going to find out. I'm going to keep fucking around your balloon.
Yeah. Close these.
Is it good?
Or we'll just put a whole bunch of propane in the air.
Okay, I got these three.
Now let's put it. There we go. Alright. Okay, I'm going to start pulling it. Should be all yours.
Yep, and then you pick one foot up and stand on the edge, because that'll tip over here pretty quick. You don't want to land on your face.
I mean, I do, but...
It's so encouraging.
It's been too long. Get up there and come a little bit.
Cause I'm just looking at you, son.
A bit of a wind shift. Travis has got the rig. You can just back there.
It's pretty close. Started it a couple of minutes before we started, so and I just stopped it, so 120 is probably actual flight too.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to untie this red line while we're not fighting it quite so much here. Talking to some of the experimental guys, this rigging is really frustrating because it always takes 3 tries, you know.
Right.
Okay. You all right, man?
Yeah, I need a cigarette,
Yeah.
but I wanted to make sure we had the balloon
Yeah, it's
under
fine.
control for a minute. So
Yeah, we can take it from here.
you're good for the moment.
What we try to do is just while the breeze is going, just try to close the throat so it doesn't refill.
Okay.
And then once it's down like this, it's not going to go anywhere.
Okay.
And we wanted to make a small change. So carefully installed this morning. We saw this kink in flight.
Oh,
So we decided to shorten it.
to that point?
Yeah. What I'm going to do is just cut it right here. Do you happen to have a lighter on you?
I don't.
That's right. Why would you have a lighter?
Right?
I got one in the car.
It's not like you're one of those people anymore,
Right?
right?
Yeah, I'm okay with not having a lighter on me.
Yep. I agree. You still doing the vaping thing?
I am.
A little bit?
I'm down to the smallest nicotine, which is like 5%.
That's great.
So it's basically no nicotine.
Right. That's really great, Travis. Now, Amanda doesn't smoke it, does she?
She smokes.
Does she still?
Yeah. I've tried to get her to try the vape because really the vape is what got me off the cigarettes.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't have done it without the vape. You know, I honestly didn't think I was ever going to be able to quit smoking cigarettes.
Well, you'd smoked for a long time.
Yeah, like 20 plus years.
It's kind of funny. We took Andrew's car in to his mechanic to just sort of have it inspected and all that kind of stuff. And when we went to pick it up, we just asked the mechanic. I said, "So, all right, this is an old car, a young guy. What do you recommend?" He says, "Well, I can tell you, there's one thing I would do." And he turns to Andrew. He says, quit fucking smoking. I have smoked for 40 years and it has just about ruined my life. I'm seeing all this crap in your back seat. Cut it out. And we're like, okay, that's great advice. We said, oh, and the car's fine. All right, thanks, man.
Andrew smokes.
He does. And then he does vaping. And he says he's trying to quit both.
Dual user.
Of course, now smoking is more difficult for him because he's not 21.